What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Back with another episode, here to distinguish the flames of the brongoblins, the slimy, ghoulish creatures that like to revise history, destroy past players, lie for the legacy of their king. A legacy that they're obviously not so comfortable with. Otherwise, why would you make up so much shit about this guy and revise history and tap dance around topics? Because if you were secure in your king and his legacy and everything he's done, you would just speak truthful on it and let his accomplishments and his story lay in truth. But they don't. And that tells you a lot about what they really think about their supposed GOAT. So, I got into I don't even want to say an argument or a dispute or a debate, but it was a Kobe versus LeBron topic, right? Somebody in the comment section of, I don't know, YouTube, Instagram, something, right? And this LeBron guy proceeds to tell me that, well, Kobe Bryant had Derek Fisher his whole career. LeBron's never had anything like that. He won all 5 championships with Derek Fisher as his point guard. He was carried by Derek Fisher. This is the mindless, spineless, timeless, grimy doo-doo that comes from a lot of brongoblins, or what many people like to call bronsexuals. Alright? Things like this. Derek Fisher? Derek Fisher, a guy that averaged about 8 points per game, 3 assists per game, 2 rebounds per game. Derek Fisher, people, this is the type of stuff I have to deal with from LeBron people on a somewhat regular basis. Seriously. So if LeBron would have had Derek Fisher, he would have been more successful?
I think not.
And I feel bad. Because while I talk about this, I am not trying to make it sound like I'm flaming Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher, in my opinion, is the second greatest role player of all time. Derek Fisher, in my opinion, is probably my favorite role player of all time. Derek Fisher, who is about 6'1", technically a point guard based on his size, but never really had that point guard, that, traditional point guard game. He wasn't that player. So Phil Jackson getting a hold of D-Fish put D-Fish in the most perfect situation for him and his game. A triangle offense that doesn't need a point guard. Derek Fisher is a guy that has a high basketball IQ, has a tremendous amount of heart, cares about winning, will do anything for the betterment of the team, makes timely buckets, is clutch, scared of nothing, brings intangibles. And if you have a structured team that has your star players in place and your other role players and people that can carry a lot of the major responsibilities, guys that can put up numbers, guys that are extremely talented, well, Derek Fisher is going to provide a lot and may be the little piece you need to turn you into a contender. Leadership, a voice, a guy that you can count on, a guy who has value beyond statistics, because he's not that kind of player. He's not going to lead a team to a victory. He's not going to give you 15 on a consistent basis. He's not going to torch other point guards. He's not going to get to the lane. He's not going to create. He's not going to do any of that kind of stuff. But it's the little things. But let's not confuse who Derek Fisher is. Remember, I said a role player. a very important role player, and he can mean a lot to a team in the right environment. But a role player. So I understand D. Fish's value. And I'm not trashing him, but we have to put things in their proper perspective. D. Fish was Kobe's favorite player for all those things I said. It's not about the numbers. But to sit here and make a comment as if Kobe Bryant would have been nothing and would have not had the success he had without Derek Fisher specifically is a bit outrageous. Using Derek Fisher as a tool to diminish Kobe Bryant's value is absurd to me. And here's the problem with the logic, especially coming from LeBron people who like to protect that guy.
We here at the Daily Bugle will not rest until we've uncovered the truth behind his web of lies. I'm Jay Jonas.
LeBron people are the people who care about the numbers, the analytics, the statistics. That's how they do a lot of their measurements and how they weigh players, situations, and legacies. Because that's the only thing LeBron James has going for him are the cumulative numbers, the totals, the counting numbers based on his legacy, and to a somewhat lesser degree, the averages. Right? If LeBron James had Derek Fisher as his point guard with those 8 points per game, those 2 rebounds per game, those 3 assists per game, and they were losing, failing to win a championship, they would say that look what he had to run with. LeBron James had Derek Fisher as his point guard. What do you expect him to do with that? 8 points per game? 3 assists? What could he possibly do with that? He's going into war with a butter knife. Derek Fisher was his starting point guard. 8 points per game. Getting blown by smaller, quicker, faster point guards. And you keep telling me he has great defense. Can't stay in front of Allen Iverson. Can't stay in front of Russell Westbrook. LeBron had to carry this guy. Carry those 8 points per game. Look at LeBron's assists. Look at his rebounds. Look at his points. He's doing all the lifting. He's not getting any help. Derek Fisher? I promise you, that would be what they would say. And that's if they're losing. If they're winning, if they win a championship, the brongoblins is going to say, damn, LeBron James won that championship carrying a player like Derek Fisher. 8 points per game, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. I never seen your GOAT do that. I never seen your favorite player do that. I never seen Kobe do that. Only LeBron could do that. Am I making this up? It's commonplace for LeBron James people, Bron Goblins, Bronsexuals, to dismiss or forget the people that helped LeBron James win, people that had sacrificed, people that made critical and timely plays and contributions, saving LeBron James at times. It's convenient for them to forget these people, dismiss these people, diminish these people, make them seem something less than what they were, and give LeBron James all the credit in the world. That's commonplace for them.
You've been a part of 2 super teams, the one you have here, the one you had in Miami. Looking at what the Cavaliers, rather the Golden State Warriors have done, are you still a fan of the concept? Do you think it's a good thing for the NBA to build these teams, how they brought in Kevin? And you get what I'm asking?
No, not really. I don't believe I've played for a super team. I don't believe in that. Okay. I don't believe we're a super team here.
Bang, bang, I'm losing it! Bun down, shoe, mustard, pan, bun now! Mr. Krabs, I am so confused.
It's funny how it's all about numbers until conveniently they don't want to talk about numbers anymore. So that's how they would have talked about Derek Fisher had LeBron James won 5 championships with Derek Fisher. That's what they would say about him. Win or lose, that would be their take on LeBron James and the Derek Fisher dynamic. This guy was praising Derek Fisher in a way that LeBron James fans won't even praise Kyrie Irving, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, Dwayne Wade. This guy was holding Derek Fisher to that standard, and a standard that LeBron folks should hold all the help he got, but they don't. No, since you guys care about numbers so much, and that's how you guys only view the game of basketball through analytics, and conveniently like to drop context when it works in your favor, why don't you talk about Derek Fisher's numbers and evaluate him based on that, and talk about how Kobe Bryant carried Derek Fisher as his prime point guard, and give Kobe all the praise for carrying the guy averaging 8 points per game and 3 assists per game and 2 rebounds. How about that? Since you guys know so much about basketball. You see, it's easy to read numbers. It's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 100. Whatever. I can look at a number, and a number is a value. Looking at numbers is easy. But do numbers tell the whole story? Answer this, brongoblins, please. You can sit here and spit numbers in my face all day, as if I can't fathom or understand a number, which is a value, and how much it weighs, and its proper perspective. That's easy. You guys don't watch basketball. You guys watch box scores. That's all you guys watch. But you like to forget about box scores when that plus minus isn't quite in favor of LeBron James. I noticed that. Or you kind of forget box scores when it's time to talk about LeBron James' turnovers. Just throwing that out there. All of a sudden, you don't know how much that number is worth. All of a sudden. Conveniently skip that. LeBron people are the ultimate cherry pickers, man. The ultimate cherry pickers. I just need them to keep that same energy. If that's your argument, I need you to keep that same energy across the board. But they never do that. They switch up the foundation for their argument whenever they need to get a specific point across. And it's probably the most frustrating thing in the world when you try to talk to these people. They're toxic, man. These guys will say anything to defend this guy. Fabricate things. Twist things. Skew things. These are the brongoblins. And if LeBron James did have Derek Fisher, I promise you Derek Fisher wouldn't have made it past one season before his ass was traded. Especially if they didn't win. Because they're going to look at those numbers and be like, this ain't it. This ain't it right here. We need an all-star. We need a guy that's going to get LeBron James 24, 25 points per game at the other guard position. That's what we need. This ain't going to cut it. We're going to have to trade his ass. Maybe we'll take 18 points per game. If we got a big three. Something like that. Derek Fisher wouldn't have made it. Let alone win 5 championships with D-Fish. He wouldn't have made it. Brown would have had his ass out the door. Not enough help. That's what he likes to say. He wants the all-star team. I'll never forget when he was with the Cavaliers, his second time around. Had a super team, had a deep bench, and he said, basically said they were too thin, too top heavy, need more pieces. I said, oh, and that's remember Charles Barkley went nuts. He said, what the hell? You got Kyrie, you got Kevin Love, you got a deep bench. What are you talking about? How much help do you need? Do you even want to compete? Remember that? And then Shaq went on to defend LeBron James, and then they got in a big argument. Remember that?
They have given him everything he wanted. They have the highest payroll in NBA history. He wanted J.R. Smith last summer. They paid him. He wanted Shumpert last summer. They bought in Kyle Korver. He's the best player in the world. Does he want all the good players? He don't want to compete? He is an amazing player. But this notion, they're the defending champs. And for him to be trying to hold anything over Dan Gilbert's head, and I love all these wild punk-ass reporters on television who's afraid to call LeBron. LeBron's a great player and a great guy. But this notion that he's got to have all the best players on his team. He's got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. He want everybody. He don't want to compete. He want to be the favorite all the time. It just pisses me off that a guy that great don't want to compete.
It's crazy to me, man. This guy has had all the help in the world, and it's never enough. And somehow still chasing Michael Jordan. And he knows it. And to me, he's not even a second greatest player of all time. So there's other ghosts that's ahead of LeBron James, not just Michael Jordan. But that seems to be an unpopular opinion these days. Just saying. Anyway, folks, that's all I got to say about it. I appreciate you for stepping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Check out our LeBron James playlist, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.